All right, back for another beer review, and today I will be reviewing yet another beer from Hop Butcher for the World, and they're out of Chicago, Illinois, and this is their Pine Street. So they're calling this one a Chinook, Simcoe and Enigma-hopped IPA. Comes in at 6.5% alcohol by volume. No IBUs listed, time of review. This can is just under 1 month old. I'm gonna give a huge thanks, shout out once again to Hop Butcher for hooking me up with this one. So big thanks to them. In the description box, I'll post a link to the beer mail unboxing video I did that contains all the goodies they hooked me up with. And when I saw this one in the beer mail, I was like, this is gonna be interesting. Why? It's a weird mix of hops, in my opinion. You have Chinook, which has been around since the 80s. You have Simcoe, which has been around for the last 20 years. And Enigma is relatively new, last 7 or 8 years. But here's the thing. Enigma, for me, I've had a couple single-hopped Enigma beers, and I'm just not a fan. Their triple IPA from Hop Butcher, Brain Force, was an Enigma-hopped triple IPA. One of my least favorite triple IPAs from them. So, Chinook, Simcoe, and Enigma, I have no idea what to expect from this one, but hopefully it's delicious. We will see. We'll check the tasting notes at the end and go from there. But let's crack this one open, get it into the glass. I rolled it, and a little bit of explosion. Cool. That's on me. Totally on me. Let's give it a pour here. All right, so maybe it does have a little bit of aggressive carbonation there. I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, a little bit on my pinky finger. Trying to get rid of it. Anyway, that actually looks beautiful. Has this really deep orange color. Yeah, that looks awesome. And it has about a 3 finger of this super creamy, very compact looking head. It's like, I would say off-white, but man, that looks beautiful. So let's get a nose. There's something about Enigma that just doesn't sit well with me. There is, listen, I can't believe I'm doing this with a Hop Butcher beer, but man, that aroma's just not for me. There is something to the Enigma, and I got the exact same kind of characteristic in Brain Force. It's almost like an over-ripened, almost like stinky kind of like cantaloupe. It's almost like it's went bad to some degree. That's what I'm getting. And it has like this musty, woody type of thing as well. It smells, and that's another thing too, it has like this super like crazy, it's like, perfect way to explain it for me is if you've ever had like a IPA that is way past its prime, talking like, 6 months old, 9 months old, a year old, and you get that substantial malt character that kind of is just like too much. That's what I get with beers like this. There's a little bit of like fresh citrus underneath, more of like a ruby red grapefruit, Tangelo, things like that. But there's a big pine. There's outside of that like over-ripened, almost just gotta throw it in the trash type of cantaloupe, I'm getting a nice like piney kind of resin tone, which is nice. But then again, that musty woody type of thing's hanging around too, and it's just not doing for me in a beer like this. Now, if this was like a barrel-aged beer, that musty woodiness would be cool, because I think it would accentuate the base beer. It's not doing it here for me. Oh, what is that? I don't know. I think aroma-wise, this is the worst beer I've had from Hop Butcher in terms of aroma. This just, I don't know. I'm scared. Somebody hold me. Anyway, let's give it a go. Cheers, everybody, and thanks again to Hop Butcher, even if I don't like it. Okay. The taste follows the aroma, but it's so dialed back that I can handle this. Still not a huge fan, but I can handle it. But I think this one at 6.5 is like basically medium, almost approaching medium, maybe a touch under, but like right in that wheelhouse. So really nice body for 6.5%. The mouthfeel, I thought this was going to have way more carbonation, but it is really soft and smooth on the palate. Wow. Body mouthfeel are spectacular. That alone has upgraded this beer from where it was in the aroma, but the taste. Right up front, I'm hit with that orange and like ruby red grapefruit kind of citrus tones. It's more of like a sweeter, pulpier kind of like juicy citrus fruit. But right after that, that's where I'm getting that over-ripened like cantaloupe. And again, that character is what I'm perceiving. For you, it might be completely different. I'm perceiving that as like an overripened cantaloupe where the cantaloupe is starting to go bad or almost bad, and it's just a bit too much for me. That carries on to the back of the palate. Then on the back of the palate, I'm hit with like a really nice, like piney, woody sensation. Has a resinous hop tone on the back that's pretty nice. Yeah, I mean, when I smelled this, I thought I was giving this, honestly, and a lot of times, I probably shouldn't do it, but sometimes it's hard to just get out of your mind. But like I'm smelling this, I'm like, this might be the worst Hop Butcher beer that I've had for me personally. And I was prepared to probably go 3 or lower on this because it just wasn't doing it for me. But drinking it, it's fine. I can handle it. I'll be able to drink the rest of that can. And that's saying something based on the aroma. Anyway, so on the back, that piney, woody, almost musty kind of hop resin thing lingers. This is moderately bitter and semi-dry. So it's sweeter up front, but it's not overly sweet. I think this actually balances out to a certain degree. Yeah, I think it balances out enough. I thought that maybe there wasn't enough sweetness up front, but I think that's wrong. I think as I keep on sipping it, I get a pretty big malt sweetness at the beginning of the palate, and then the back kind of balances it out with that moderate dryness and bitterness. 6.5%, sure. Yeah, man, I think it's Enigma. I'm sure all of us out there have certain hops that just don't do it for you. I know a lot of people with certain hops are just like, yeah, I can't. Like Sabro. There's a lot of people out there just don't like that huge coconut vibe, and if they have that specific hop in a beer, it kind of ruins the experience. I think that is Enigma for me. I really do think Enigma is one of those hops that just doesn't do it for me. Yeah, I'm gonna have no problem drinking that. Like, you know what? I maybe overblown the situation a little bit. If that aroma carried over, this is like a 2.75, maybe a 3 at best. But I think there's enough sweetness here. I think there's enough balance. Luckily, that just cantaloupe character that just wasn't great, didn't carry over to a T on the palate. I think there's enough going on for me to enjoy it to some degree. So I'm gonna say this without question. So this is probably bottom 3 Hop Butcher beer for me personally that I've had. I think a couple other ones I've had from them kind of in the same realm where they're just like, it's all right. That's pretty much this beer for me in a nutshell. So I am going to give Pine Street from Hop Butcher. I'm sure this is going to be way lower than most people out there, and I'm okay with that because we can't always love all the beers from your favorite breweries. I've like my top 5, there's definite beers I dislike from those breweries. Hop Butcher, I've had about 3 that I've not really cared for. This will be the 4th. So got to be honest, Pine Street from Hop Butcher, I'm giving this a high 3.25. I'm going to go 3.3 out of 5 for me. It is what it is. Like I said, not terrible, but I think the Enigma hop is just that hop that just doesn't do it for me, and I think it's kind of ruining the experience of this because that cantaloupe, that stinky, overripened, trashy cantaloupe aroma, and then a little bit into the taste was almost the exact same thing I think I was getting in Brain Forest. And yeah, so anyway, tasting notes. Elegant pine. Yeah, I don't know if I'd call it elegant, but yeah, there's definitely a pine resin kind of finish. Dank citrus. Wouldn't necessarily say dank, but I said fresh citrus, but yeah, orange and ruby red grapefruit, yep. And then fresh tropical. Maybe that's that cantaloupe. I wouldn't say it's fresh. I would say it's overripened and about to be thrown in the trash. But I can't wait to see what my other fellow beer tubers who get stuff from Hop Butcher, what they think about this one, because I think I'm going to be in the minority just because I don't care for Enigma at this point. But I'd be curious to know what people say about this one. I'll have to check some Untappd check-ins as well. Price point availability, I think these are like $13 or $14 a 4-pack, which, listen, I might not like the beer, but for a 6.5% IPA, 13 to 14 bucks is a real good deal nowadays considering how expensive beer is. And availability, Chicagoland, you can get their stuff sometimes online at like craftshack.com. They make their way over to Europe, some of the online sites over there. Some places are even getting drops in weird places like here in Buffalo, New York, and down in like Georgia. So if you want Hop Butcher nowadays, you can seek it out, and it's not that tough to get, and they make some great beers. This, for me, is not one of them. So I appreciate Hop Butcher sending stuff my way. I hope at some point I find an Enigma beer that I enjoy, but I don't think I found one yet. So anyway, thanks to Hop Butcher for sending this one my way. If you've had this one before, definitely post in the comment section. Let me know what you thought about it, because this ain't it, Chief. To the next one. Cheers.